Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm working on a traveler's notebook layout titled Lounge. I'll be scrapping these two photos, and I'm working with a digital version of the collection Transatlantic Travel by Carta. This layout is based on sketch number 18, which is a silhouette cut template that is available as freebie at MistyHilltops.com. And there are a number of freebies available for download, so if you haven't done it, go check it out. So I started this page by using a circle that I will be using later on to give me a parameter of about where things will be covered, because I always manage to somehow put things down on the paper with mixed media, and then it's all covered up by the design. So I decided I will give me tiny markings with my pencil along the line where I'm aware that that circle will be covering things, so I don't need to bother making a smaller circle or something. So I'm going pretty much all around the edge of this spread. And so what I'm doing here is I'm using some acetate, just some wrapping that came, I think, with one of my stencils or something. And I just put some watercolor on it, and then I dab it on the page in a circle, so like it makes a circle, so that it'll be all around that circle that I'll be using later for the page. So I'm going around. And sometimes I do double layers when I feel like it needs to be more filled out. And so I'm also trying to be aware that this are two pages and I want them to be consistent. So it's not too important because the pattern is so random that it really doesn't matter as much as if I would put the paper down, but I'm still usually trying a lot to align. You see me right there, I'm aligning the two pages again when I'm thinking that I'm getting to the part where it goes across both pages. So I'm trying to get the hang of it. I kind of liked the first dab there that didn't have too strong of a color. I couldn't replicate that for some reason. Like all the other, I was wondering maybe there was more, not enough water, or I need more water or something. So then I switched to bubble wrap, and then I just used some blue watercolor, and I just love the effect that bubble wrap has on a page when you apply watercolor to it. It's just so simple. You don't need to be an artist, and you still get to create these really, really artistic pages without having any skill whatsoever. So I'm dabbing these where I'm assuming the area that my pictures will be. One will be in the top left corner and one will be in the bottom right corner. And so they will be something to accompany my photos. So now I have waited for things to dry, which actually they dry right away and it goes real fast, but I wanted to clean my desk space so that I don't have all these papers that I usually have underneath these kinds of watercolor projects. So here I realized I still need to run roughen up the edge of this one piece. I have done so with all other pieces already, and so this is a cut file that comes in as a silhouette cut file. It's a freebie on my blog. I used a similar design on another page that I made for a winter album, Traveler's Notebook style. That was smaller. This one's slightly bigger, and then this time I turned it into an actual silhouette cut file. So I clipped the papers from the digital collection to this, and then these I just cut out by hand. They were easy enough, and I didn't care so much that the circular part around the edge is perfect, because I knew I was going to rough up the edge anyway, and then it just is irregular to begin with, which is exactly the effect that I want. So now again I will have a little stop here, just because I actually ran this through my sewing machine now. And so now I'm ready, and here you can see there is that sewing line, the stitching there. And so I just ran my machine all around the edge there of the paper, and then I'm ready to glue this down. And it's a little tricky because the watercolor, when it dries, it kind of gives the page a very dry texture, and to get the glue to apply to it and stick to that is a little tricky. But then I was also, the sewing machine had kind of flattened my edge again, and so I wanted that to go back to come up a little more. So while I was doing two things at the same time, while I was still sticking down the circle on the paper, trying to get it stick with the glue, I also roughened up the edge a little more. So now I'm just following the silhouette cut file. I have the exact design on my silhouette, and it's on my computer that's right there on my desk. So I can see exactly what I'm doing. So I keep one version where I have basically the template rebuilt with the real papers, so I don't forget, because I work on several projects at a time sometimes, and I do the planning in the silhouette, and then I have other things that I'm doing, and I'm coming back, and then I might have forgotten, where does this paper go, and what happened, what was I planning with this? So I have the whole thing designed out in my silhouette, and then I copy and paste it into a different document where I prepare everything for printing. And so I have this open, and I can easily just rebuild what I have on the screen right in front of me. So here I'm just putting down all the pieces of paper. It's kind of a really busy page. I try to help with a photo and give it a black matte there, the top photo. For this square photo, I used photo corners that I have a die cut set off, and so then I made these, I just had these tags that I clipped with the papers from the collection, and then now I'm putting down the photo. So once I have everything that needs to go in the background, then I can work with the foreground. So once I have the papers down and the photos down, then I can get to the embellishments. But I'm still working on I think that other photo is still not glued down. So here I'm starting to decide where the various elements are going to go. I know I have more than can go on this page. I don't want it to be too busy, as it's already crazy busy with all that mixed media background there, that watercolor in the background, but I still like it. Every time I do a mixed media page, I'm thinking, why am I not doing this with every page that I do? Because I find it looks a lot more attractive and appealing. So anyway, this is a book plate that comes with a template, and this one I just filled with one of my word strips. I make these word strips myself, and then I'm offering them up as a freebie on my blog. And so here I'm making sure everything will be cut through the middle there, because it's 2 pages, right, of a traveler's notebook. And so I'm making sure I don't want to cut through that photo. So I put down a paper strip there to see exactly where the cut line will be, to be mindful of that when I place embellishments and when I place photos. Sometimes I cut right through the photo, it doesn't matter, but then I'm planning for that. I pay attention to what's on the photo, so I don't cut right through a face of someone or something. So I do pay attention to when I will cut through something. So here, these are just flowers that I cut with my silhouette from there in my library silhouette store, flowers that I just give some shape, and then put some bling on in the middle, and then I'm ready to put these flowers down as well. That little leafy thing there, that was actually from a different die cut. That was just a tree or a plant, but I just cut them apart and got these pretty leafy things that work well. This title I printed with the embellishments and then had my silhouette cut out, and it gives you a good example of how well the silhouette cuts with the technique that I'm using, that is the print and cut function. Not the print and cut that comes with the silhouette, but the way that I do it. Anyway, I'm putting down the last little bits, and I'm realizing I'm not cutting this page apart on camera, but you have lots of other videos to see that. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with a few more close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.